Fine. So we've got, I see Jean-Michel and Suman, and I see, hi, Monsieur Anderson is there, hi. Hi Suman, hi Jean-Michel, hi Annette, I can see Annette.
Hello.
Hello.
Antoine is here.
Oh, hi Antoine.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
Jennifer's here as well.
Hi Jennifer.
Hello.
Hello, Christelle is here. Hi.
Hi Christelle. Okay,
Hello.
lots of people online. Xavi as well, I can see him. Valerie. Okay.
Hello.
So, hi Hasima. Great. Hi everybody. Okay.
Woof.
So we should start. I think, well, people join us a little bit late. That's okay. They'll just jump in. So today what we're going to do is we'll give you a bit of a brief overview in regards to the H&M program. And then, so that will be me. And then I will hand it over to our H&M consultant, her name is Daksha, who will take us through the interface. So that's the program, and then afterwards at 1:30 we have food as well. We have some sandwiches. That will be behind. So let's get started, okay? So firstly, obviously we have to tie in what we're doing with the H&M to professional development. And I think here what we want to do, give you as a definition, is what is professional development and DNTI. So staff development reinforces the competencies and skills needed in order to deliver our work, our value, and also it's an important critical element that supports the NDI growth path. So that's number one. Okay. Number two is this. So what are we doing in regards to development? So we have asked, as part of the appraisal process, that staff also prepare with their managers a development plan. And it is expected that they keep track of this development plan through the year. So this plan aims to encourage managers and employees to think creatively about development. And one of the more classical thinkings around development is training. But what we really try to encourage through the 70-20-10 plan is there's other ways to learn which actually have been more effective than training. Training is important, it's very critical, but then you also learn through your work, through work assignments, and you also learn through exposure, different types of exposure you may have in the organization. And I think last year, just to round out the training from last year, I think we were quite happy with how it went. We had most of the training requests were accepted. A few were refused, but most were accepted. And so the budget is well used. So we spent 80% of our budget, which is I think it's good. So people have been used the training. So also what we did is we revised the training and development guidelines. If you remember last year, we had as an objective to have a strategic training partner and to run training courses, live training courses in the organization or at an external facility, and to replicate this with the regional offices. And what we realized during the whole year is that it was people in DNDI are very busy, and to pull them out of their workplace to send them to a course.
Recording is on.
Okay.
Guess it's the BlueJeans system.
It's okay. And so it was not. We did not feel there was such a big need in the organization. People were not in such high. They needed to have tools. They needed to have training, but they needed also to fit it in with all of their work that they have to do. So we changed course during the year, and we said yes, we do need a strategic training partner, but what would be a better way to approach this? And this is how we came across H&M, Harvard Mentor Manager, which is an online system, which we feel that has a lot of good content on it, and it's very much updated all the time, so it's very useful. You have access to tools, you have access to videos and clips, but at the same time, it's more appropriate in terms of being used with our staff. And also, it permits us really to have a global approach. to have all the regional offices to have the same type of licenses that the people in Geneva have, I think is really an important element as well. So we've updated the training and development guidelines to reflect the fact that now it's H&M is a training partner. So HMM will quickly apply new skills on the job and drive business results. So that's one thing that I mentioned. And it has a consistent approach delivered globally dispersed workforce. So that is also our case, in DNDI's case. And also is continuously updated. So those are the three, I would say, key elements that we made us choose H&M. And it offers insights that matter when they're needed the most. It offers concise topics, videos, and tools. So it's really great. I mean, you'll see afterwards the demo. I was like really wowed by this platform. And it also helps you. It has a section. It's called your action plan. So whenever you go through a module, you can also then develop your action plan or personalized goals, and then actually straight away implement what you've learned in a real job situation. So that is also an important element. So it ties it into the 70-20-10 plan. So it's the same mindset, same methodology. So this year is the pilot year. So as we wanted to test it out and see whether this is something that staff feel that really is helpful for them and they value it. So we have 75 individual licenses which have been distributed to all of the offices according to number of employees per office. So it's a fair and very proportionate distribution. And we starting 1st of March. And this tool has been made available from O1, from level O1. But this is the pilot year. So if we feel that next year we should make it available to all levels, we will adjust. So whatever we learn this year, we will help us to really define how this tool is used for the years to come. Okay. So we really appreciate your feedback as well. I think that's also if you when you're using this tool, if you like to give us comments, I think they will be very helpful. We will also have plan a survey at the end in order to gather your feedback as well. And this will help us define then how will this program really look like at the end. Yeah, it could be that we need to have more licenses or less licenses. It could be that it's applied across, different set of, of levels. It could be that the programs that we have, the modules we have selected, maybe maybe we will need some other modules. All of those things are still, we still want to test this out this year. So it's a pilot year. So H&M is flexible. It allows you to use it either during working hours or during free time. So that's an important note. If you go and do your H&M during the weekend, I don't think we can compensate the time working on the tool. So it's really up to you to manage how to use it. Okay, so that's a key message. So I think what's this note of any HR monitor the activity on the H&M platform following people's progressions. So if we notice that people are not using, for example, if someone has asked for a license and there hasn't been any activity, because we have like a dashboard. Agnes will have a dashboard, and you can check and see, if there's been any activity for each license. We will then, reach out to the person and ask them, well, are you still interested? And if the person says, oh no, maybe it's too much, I have too much work, I'm not interested anymore. We will take that license and we can give it to someone else. So we will also ensure that these licenses are optimally used. And if a person signs up and then midway they suddenly have a massive project, or they would like, it's okay. We understand everybody has situations, but it's good to let us know, because then we can always give this license to someone else who is on the waiting list. Okay. And that's the end of my presentation. It's very short. And I would like to open the floor for questions. Any comments? Go ahead.
Question. So that means there will no longer be any live training offered.
No.
All the training will be done through.
This is management skills training, that sort of training. But I think we will obviously we offer, for example, we've had French classes training, which will continue because it's not the same scope. And we also, in some other regional offices, they offer also language trainings as well. I have an echo, so anybody who's online can mute. So that's something that is not the same thing as H&M. So that will continue. And last year we did some, like Excel and Word trainings and all that. So we will definitely resume that as well. This year we paused because we did a lot last year, I think. And so, next year we'll probably hold those again. So again, H&M does not train you on software. They don't train you languages. So those trainings will still go ahead. But for example, for, team development, how to give feedback, how do you, all of those types of trainings. It's obviously much better now to use the H&M. It's more cost effective, and it actually helps you have across the organization use the same language or the same methodology. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Yeah. Any questions from the people online? Any comments? We're good?
Yeah, good.
Good, thank you.
Okay.
Jana, I'm sorry. Jennifer has just a short question.
Go ahead.
I understood the license is going to be available as of the 9th of March, which is this Friday. And we were supposed to have had the approval to have take one of the 75 licenses from our manager based on our review. HIV HCV reviews have been extended until the end of March, as you know. Is there any way to, shall we say, reserve places for us? Because we want to have completed the process before the licenses are given out.
I think we have a few spare ones, so that's fine.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
We can wait. We'll make a note.
But if I may add, as I said on the first email, if you didn't manage to do the full process regarding appraisal, you can at least have a chat with your manager, telling him that you would request HMM, and if he supports your request, and then you send me an email by copying him. Because otherwise, otherwise I need to check all the licenses I have available and everything to distribute it fairly. So if you know that you are going to do your appraisal meeting in 2 weeks' time, don't wait for it. Please go and check with him, even by mail, that you want to get a license. Do you approve? And then you talk about it later in more details in your appraisal.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Anise.
Okay. Great. Any other questions and comments? Okay. Okay. So then let's move to the demo. I would like to pass the floor to Anise, who can introduce us to Daksha.
Sure.
Yeah.
So today we have Daksha from HMM. So she's based in the UK. So I guess you're gonna see her in a minute whenever she talks.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
So Dashka is going to be our person who's do the demonstration on HMM. So she's going to share her screen and continue the presentation, and then doing a live demo for you.
Great. Thank you, Anise and Jana. Just give me a moment. I'll share my screen with you. Okay. So, my name is Daksha Patel, and I'm a Senior Program Coordinator with Harvard Business Publishing. And I'm very excited to be here today as we launch Harvard Managed Mentor. As Jana mentioned, I'll give you a robust tour of Harvard Managed Mentor, and I'll show you all the different ways you can benefit from this resource. We will have time at the end for some questions, but if you think of any of that as we go along, please do chat them in, and then I'll get to them at the end and answer them for you. just before we get started onto the tour, I want to tell you a little bit about Harvard Business Publishing. And we are actually a subsidiary of the Harvard Business School, which many of you will have heard of, and that is headquartered in Boston. Howard Business Publishing itself consists of 3 market groups. The first one is the higher education group, and they partner with academic institutions from around the world to bring in materials such as, say, case studies or simulations that are used in MBA programs in universities and academic institutions around the world. We then have the Harvard Business Review Group, and they publish the Harvard Review magazine, as well as some books on management tools and leadership topics. Then we have the corporate learning, and that's the group I'm part of, and we partner with global organizations such as yourself to bring customized and tailored leadership and management development solutions to your employees. And to do this, we not only draw on the thought leadership that comes out from the business school, but we also draw on the thought leadership provided by faculty. We work with authors, experts from other academic institutions to bring you a full variety of ideas and thoughts on certain topics. All of our solutions, such as Harvard Managemental, are all technology-based, and this is what we specialize in and have over 25 years' experience in doing so. Now, as I said, I'm going to take you into the tour, but before, again, we go in, I just want to explain to you the learning design principles that we've instilled in ensuring that you get the most out of these technology-based solutions that we have. Now, the first principle that we have to look at here is we believe that learning should happen in a context of your daily work. That's why in Harvard Managemental, you will find a on-the-job section, as Jana mentioned, where it will help you apply the learning into your daily routine. We also believe that, We also believe that learning is a continuous cycle of learning, of doing and reflecting. We will never get it right the first time. So it's not a one-time interaction, but a continuous process during which over time you refine your skills and capabilities. And this ties in very nicely with our next principle of learning over time. We believe learning should evolve over time in order to be sustainable. And so we have moved away from the one-time learning events, and instead we provide learning over months or even years. So please, when you do get access to Harvard Managemental, do go back in frequently and keep repeating certain exercises until you feel comfortable with them and this becomes part of your daily DNA. Now, learning also involves a lot of emotions, which is why it's very important that when we learn, you engage on those. And what we've done to help you here is integrated learning through emotional engagement. What we've done is integrated a number of videos to foster your learning through emotional engagement. Most importantly, we have the principles of learning with others and learning by teaching. Now, learning is and always will be a social activity. So with Harvard Managemental, we provide you with tools for a self-directed learning. Only you know yourself best. Some of you may go through all the learning in one sitting. Others may prefer to consume it in shorter bites over days, weeks, months. Now, having said that, we still want you to walk away from Harvard Managemental with ideas and discussions that you could lead with others and to really share your thoughts and questions with them, and therefore creating what we call a community for a topic. And I'll show you how to do that once we go into the live tour. Now, to access the Harvard Managemental site, you will be sent an email with the link. So you would click on the link, put in your username, which will be your email address, and the password that's provided there. So once you've done your login, you will then go to the Harvard Managemental login site, which looks like this. Now, at the top of the page, what you will see is 3 topics that I've visited regularly. These are my most frequently visited Sorry, I'm getting some feedback.
DND Nairobi, can you please mute yourself? Thank you.
Thank you. So these are the most frequently visited topics that I've been to.
Sorry, Daksha, there is someone else. Can you please mute yourself?
Hi.
Hi, Nairobi office.
Duncan, can you mute? There's an echo. Thank you. Thank you.
Sure.
It's
Thank
good,
you.
Daksha. Yeah.
No problem. So these three are the most frequently visited topics I've been into, but just below here you can see all the 18 topics listed in alphabetical order. Now you can either view all the topics or you can select a different category. So you may want to look first at the strategic expertise and refine those skills, so you see the 4 topics related there. Or you may want to do leading by example. Again, you can go back to view all and you'll see all 18 topics. If I scroll further down, here you will see a company message, and this is a message from the DNDi team, and you should keep an eye on this because there may be some important information that Anis or Jana might post on there. You also have the tip of the day. This is where you'll see a short practical tip on effective management, which is updated daily. And this information comes directly from our Harvard Business Review website, and it's one of the ways that we leverage Harvard the content from other areas of Harvard Business Publishing into Harvard Managemental.
I just want to stop. Daksha, I just want to stop and just explain to everybody, even though you have signed up for some courses, like of interest, you actually can go and take a look at all of the courses. So so you can feel free to wander around and look at what's in there. And it could be that some others are of interest, but they're all made available to you. Okay?
Yeah. Thank you, Jana. So if I scroll back to the top, on the left-hand side here, you'll see the 3 menus button. Here, you can take a tour of the site. So if I miss anything or if you miss anything on this live demo, you can go in there and it will bring up little icons such as this one, and then you can move on to the next one and it'll give you a tour. Here you will find a section called About the Mentors. Now, if during one of the lessons you come across a video or some content by an author or a contributor to the Harvard Managemental site and you want to know a bit more about them, you would go into About Mentor. You can click on their name and you'll get a short bio for them. That's the menu on the left there. Let's take you back to the home page. You will also see your profile picture on the top right here. If you click on that one, you'll be able to see a section called What's New. That will tell you of any updates that have been made on the site in terms of if any lessons have been updated, if new functionality has been added. You can go in here and check that out. We do that on, as you can see, the last update was in November 2017. So we try and limit the number of updates we do. We don't do them monthly. We try and cluster them into one, so there's not that much that you need to keep an eye on there. Before we go completion criteria, there is also the learner guide. That is basically what I'm showing you today, as well as what the tour does for you, but in a PDF format. So you can print it out, download it, and keep it to hand. The completion criteria, this is what you need to do in order to pass one of the topics. So what you need to do, and I'll show you shortly, that each topic is clustered into 4 to 8 lessons. And what we expect you to do is complete all the lessons within the topics here. And then we expect you to complete an assignment at a score of 75%. Once you've done that, we also expect you to complete an on-the-job action plan. Now, once you've fulfilled this criteria for a topic, you will see a certificate appear on the top right here, which you can print or download. So before I walk you through the topics, which is a more structured way, We spoke about, resources being available to you on demand and when you need them. So what you can do is use the search function here. You can type in what you want to look for, and this will bring up a list of related articles and videos. So for example, you were wondering how to have a conversation with an employee that has a potential to do well, but is lacking motivation, and you want some insights or tools to help you do this. You would type in motivating employee. A list will come up, such as this one. You can refine the search by just saying, I want to only view the videos that are available. I haven't got a lot of time, and it will then refine the search for you. And this is a really useful tool. Using it this way, it's like having your own personal support tool where you can log in and find out what you need when you need it. Look at it like a Google for leadership and management topics. So as Jana said, these aren't the only 18 topics. You can go in and refine to look for other things as well. So let's look a bit deeper into one of the topics. I'm going to go into team management. So this takes you to what we call the topic landing page. Now, each topic begins with an overview, and that gets you started with an introductory video, as you can see here. I won't play it. I'll just show you it'll bring up a small screen here. And this sets the stage for the topic. It helps you understand the importance of the course. And these videos can take the form of either a motion graphic or a short documentary. So I do recommend before you start a topic, take your time and view that video. Sorry, my screen seems to have frozen. Just one moment. Bear with me, sorry, thank you. So just below the video, you will also see the topic objective, which just come up in a small window, and you'll see the completion criteria again. Now, on the right-hand side here is what is the structure of the topic for team management. Here you will see there are 6 lessons. Now, the number of lessons for each topic varies, so it could be anything from 4 to 8 topics, 8 lessons, sorry. But what is important to know is that each lesson is autonomous on its own. So let's say you need to, as a priority, encourage collaboration within your team. So you can go to that lesson first. You do not need to complete all the lessons in order to move to the next one. The reason for this is basically to allow you to learn in a very targeted way, and it's just customized to your individual needs and your priorities. So let's take a bit of a deeper dive into encouraging collaboration. And this will take you to the lesson page. At the top here, you will see the format of learn, practice, and reflect. Now, let me walk you through these. First of all, the learn section. What you would do is the content in the middle here, you would scroll down, digest that content, view the videos. One thing you can do on the video is you can see a bio of the contributor. There is also a written transcript that you can see. You would do all this work, learning, and then you would press complete at the bottom here. Before you can press complete, there is also a section that has been put for you to leave a comment. This encourages collaboration within your peers, your colleagues. You may see a question that Anis might post on there. Something's happening in the organization about encouraging collaboration. He may post a question on there. So we do encourage you to use that comment section. Before I press to complete and show you the practice, I just want to highlight a couple of things on the right-hand side here of the main content. If I go back to the top. So this content on the right here, let me just clarify. The content in the middle is the core content we expect you to complete in order to get the topic completion. But for those of you that want a bit more information or a bit more dive deeper into the lesson, we've prepared some additional supporting materials or assets, and they will be located on the right. First one you see here is a poll. You can answer this poll and see how others in the organization have responded to this question or to this poll. On this lesson, we also have an editor's choice. I earlier mentioned that we want to bring you the latest thought leadership. And when I say the latest, I do mean the latest, not from last year, but it could be from last week, it could be from last month. So what happens is our team of editors goes out every quarter and searches the internet for latest links on management thinking. And it could be in, say, the Financial Times, it could be a YouTube video, it could be a very popular blog, it could be a number of things, whatever it may be. They will go out there, find which relates to, for this example, encouraging collaboration, and they will select the top links and embed them on a quarterly basis into the lesson. So even if you've completed a topic, I still encourage you to come back occasionally and check out these latest links because there's no archive for this. If you miss out one quarter's selection, there's no way for you to see any of these links again. Sometimes you will also see a useful statistic. Sometimes you will see, a couple of polls. Sometimes you won't see anything, but do look out for these additional assets on the right-hand side. So, having said that, we've done the learning. We now would go in, press complete. And this will take you into the practice area. Now, in this area, this information is not recorded, so you can practice as many times as you like. You will make mistakes, so don't get disheartened because, as you know, mistakes is what you learn from, and this area allows you to do that. All the practice areas differ. This is a number of questions you have to answer. Sometimes there may be a video that you need to respond to questions about, or it could be scenario-based. Once you have finished practicing, all you need to do is go to the reflect area and reflect on what you've learned and practiced. So let's move on to that section. Now, it's very important to reflect and retain in Harvard Management. We've designed it so it doesn't take you longer than 5 or 10 minutes to do that. And just take that time to reflect on the experience, to think about the insights you have gained, how you're going to apply those. So once you are happy with those reflections, you can either press complete and move on to the next. You press the complete, and it will take you to the next lesson. Now, when you press complete and it takes you to a lesson that you don't feel that you are ready to go into and complete just yet, that's fine. What you can do is go back to the team management landing page, bypass that topic for now, and then choose any of the others at the top. Now, once you have finished the learn, reflect, and apply process for all the lessons, you are then ready to complete an assessment. Now, the assessment is designed to measure your understanding of a topic's key performance goals. If you get an answer wrong, you will get the information as to why once you pass the assessment. You will also get feedback on both the correct and incorrect answers. If you do not pass the assessment, you can review the content for any incorrectly answered questions and retake the assessment as many times as you need to in order to pass. You can find the score required for to pass the assessment in the completion criteria, and as we pointed out, it's 75%. So in this particular one, there were 9 questions, and I had to make sure I got 7 right, and I've managed to pass the assessment. Once you have passed the assessment, you need to then go and complete the on-the-job action plan. To do that, you would go back to the topic page and select the on-the-job. Now, I've already pre-completed this, but what you will get is a page that will come up as such. Now, the first step we ask you to do is rate yourself on skills related to, in this example, encouraging collaboration. Now, I'll fill this in for myself, and this rating is just for, for you, and nobody else will see it. Pick a skill after you've done this that you need to work on, and define your own action items to improve that rating. Now, as I can see here, I filled in, and I need to, work a bit more on managing conflicts. So I would click on that, and I would add in actions that I'm going to take in order to, make sure that my team and I are able to manage the conflicts constructively. And I also noticed that one of my other team members one of my other colleagues has a team that works very well together. They very rarely have any conflicts. So, I would put down an action here to say, have a catch up with Phil and find out how he gets his team to resolve conflicts. You've seen it works really well for him. He never has any issues. So you want to find out how he does that. And you can give yourself, let's say I'm going to give myself a month to do that. Then I'd add in another action here. Maybe it's I want to have a team activity to help me with how I go about making sure that my team doesn't have that many conflicts. So I would put in an action of speak to HR about team activities for conflict-based scenarios. Okay, and I'm going to again give myself. I'll give myself a couple of months to do that because I want to make sure I get the right one and we have the budgets in place, whether we do it in a team meeting, whether we do it as an offsite. So I've added my actions in. Once I've added them in, I press submit. Now, as you can see, I've got two action plans here, one for managing conflict and one for strengthening my team's identity. As I go along, what will happen once you've submitted these actions, over a course of 60 days, you will regularly get reminders to say, hi, these were your actions, here's some tools and some techniques that you can use, here's some articles you can read, you gave yourself a deadline of this date, and it will just send you 3 or 4 emails to remind you about your action and keep you on track. Once you have completed what you can do is, once you've completed your action plan, sorry, my screen seems to have, apologized, frozen a little bit. There we go. Okay. So once you, on the 5th of May, you've completed your action and you want to make sure that you put that into the system, you would press complete here, and then you'd press continue. Oh, I need to complete that one as well. You press complete, and then what you will do is it will bring you up a rating scale after you've done the action to say, you were on a 3, how do you feel today? And you can say, I feel a lot more comfortable, I'm happy with that, although not, it may need still a bit more work, and you can put a bit of a summary here and submit that into the system. Now, when we say we submit into the system, this action plan is just for you, and we personally don't share it with anybody. An email doesn't go out from the system to your manager or anybody. It is just for you. But what we do is we do encourage you to share it with others. And what we've done is if you go back onto the action plan, there is a download action plan to share. And that downloads in a PDF format, and you can print it or use it as an email and send it to your manager or one of your peers. And one of the reasons we do encourage this is because when I do an action plan, I usually go to my manager and say, these are the actions I've identified for myself. Are they in line with what you're thinking I need to do? Is there anything else I should be doing? Is there any other guidance you can give me? And you'll always find somebody who will say, well, have you thought about maybe trying this? Or have you tried doing it this way? And it always helps sharing action plans and getting some input from your peers and colleagues. Now, the final feature that I like to show you that relates to the learning principle of learning with others, and that sits under the section called Develop Others. Now, if I click on that for this topic, you will see that it has two discussions. Every topic will have two discussion points under Develop Others. So in this area, it gives you discussions that you can have with others. You can have either a brown bag session over lunch, you can entice it into your team meeting, or you can just have an informal forum. And it just gives you an opportunity to share your learning, deepen your knowledge, and it just makes you a multiplier within DNDi. So, for example, if I wanted, let's take, say, the first one here in decision-making process, you want to find out, want to have a conversation with your colleagues about that. What we've done is designed a template email invitation for you. You can download that. You can edit it as you please, but the core content of what is covered is already in that template. You send it out to your colleagues, say, hey guys, it would be really great to get your thoughts on this. Let's meet up for 30 minutes or 40 minutes and, brainstorm some things. We have then also, in order for you to facilitate it, we've designed a discussion guide, and this takes you step by step on what points you can raise, what you can encourage conversations about, questions you can ask, and we've also prepared you the slides here. So all you have to do is find a time and send out the invitation and then run this small workshop with them. And that basically is Harvard Manage Mentor. You would go into each topic and follow that process through. Once you've followed that process through for the topics that you've been assigned, Anise will keep you on top of your progress there. So with that, I'm going to end my live demo. Just one final comment on where you can get support for Harvard Manage Mentor. Within DNDi, Anise will be your point of contact. But if you have any issues with the site itself, we have a 24/7 technical support. Again, Anise will share all this information with you by email, but it's also available on Harvard Manage Mentor. And it's a technical team we have based around the world, and they will answer any questions that you may have pretty promptly. So that does really cover everything I wanted to show you. And I hope that you found this overview of the site informative and helpful. I'm going to pause here for some questions if anybody has any, or any thoughts or insights you may have.
Any questions?
I had a question, Daksha. If a person, for example, has a license and then they decide to take a pause, take a break because they're on a project, and then the next year they restart the learning again, can they access their data? Is this data stored in the system?
I'm not sure. I'll have to get back to you on that one, Jana. If their license is still active, then yes, that data should still be there. But if that license gets deactivated, then no. Or you've reassigned it to somebody else, then that data will not exist. But let me just double check that. I'm pretty sure that data gets retained if the license is still active.
Okay, that would be great if you can check them. And second question is, there's these certifications that people get. Is it something that is that is something that people put on their CVs, or is it something that or is it more for internal use?
People can put it. It's not a certificate to say it's a Harvard thing. It'll tell you that you've completed a development program in leadership, and you can download that certificate and add it to your LinkedIn if you wanted to, of course. But it is not as such like a business school certificate that you would get from, say, London School of Economics or anything like that. It is a Harvard Management to say you've completed that topic. But yeah, you can definitely, relate it into your CVs.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, is there so any questions from people online?
No, thank you. Hello?
No, thank you. No question.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, DK?
Hi, yes, this is Deacon New York office. I have one question for you, Daksha. I was just wondering, is there like a average time that's expected for employees to contribute to the program? So would it be like a 5 hour per week, 6 hour per week? Or does that really vary based on the program that you select?
It varies. So if I just share my screen with you again, just one moment. So you will see next to each topic, it tells you roughly how long it will take you to complete a topic. So strengthen your team identity is 12 minutes. Encourage collaboration is 21 minutes. So it will give you an idea of how much time you need to allow yourself per lesson, per topic. So let me just increase my screen. And so you'll see here, foster trust is 13 minutes. Yep. We haven't set you a timeline. It could be something that your manager might say, you need to complete this in 3 months, but we've provided you with the license and the capabilities, and it is self-paced, so it's entirely up to you and your manager how you plan that out, and how quickly they want you to progress on certain items, but it is self-paced.
Got
It's
it.
up to you to pace yourself, yeah. Okay, that was a good question.
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay. All righty, so I guess if we don't have any questions, then maybe we should close the meeting. And I think thank you, Daksha, for presenting the H&M platform. I hope all of you have a good time using this. I hope it's useful for you as well. I'm very excited
So
because
are we limited in the number of courses we can do?
No,
so
you can take all.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think if you have any comments or need any help, just let us know. Anis is the focal point. And let's see what the outcomes are. I think it's a test year, so I have high hopes. And we'll see how it goes, and hopefully it will be of use. Yeah, go ahead, Karen.
When will we get access? Unless I missed an email.
It's on 9th.
Should be on Friday, but depending now, I just send a list to Daksha, so they are going to implement and create all the users' account. Whenever it's ready, it will be online.
Okay, great, thank you.
So finally, how many users do we have? Is there space for other people to apply yet or no?
Whenever someone applies now, it will be on the waiting list.
So the 70 were gone?
Almost.
Go ahead, yeah.
One year license that you have?
One person per license. Yeah.
So once I finish, for instance, my training, then I can give my license to someone else, or?
I will see how I will manage that. We are not there yet, so we'll see as we are able to reattribute licenses. But I need to check how it works.
1 year.
Sorry? Yeah, it's for 1 year. 1 full year, so it's 12 months. So it's not till the end of the year. It's next year.
But if you finish your program, yes, we can be assigned. Absolutely.
Or if we need to time out, we need to work with you.
And if we need time out, it's just let us know and we'll work it out. Like I said, it's also a new thing for us. So if it's time out for a month or two, that's fine. Honestly, it's no problem. If it's time out for like 6 months, then it's a different issue. Okay. Yeah. Good.
I have a question which is not specifically about this, Jonah. This is one of the initiatives, and I know that you have collected requests from the team on areas of interest. Are you planning over this year also to offer some workshops or courses where not one individual but many people could attend?
Maybe for conflict management, or for we have French session, so it's for a group of people, 6 people. So No, we will continue to do some workshops.
It's on an ad hoc basis, yeah. Based on also demand and based on availability. The issue for us is often that when we plan these things, people say they're coming and then, you know. Then
it's like
they don't.
today, 60 people from Geneva accepted the.
So-
You're only 14 in the room.
So
you can understand how hard it is to.
it's hard to group people, you know.
No, it's more for me to know because I'm trying to organize with the regional offices. If there is an interesting course, we could organize for Gina, for example, Shiraz, Joel to come, spend some time here, take the course, and then do other activities.
No, I don't think we have that kind of.
Oh, you don't think you're gonna
plan.
have this now?
No.
Okay.
What you could do is you can see if there's any topic that is relevant for your team.
To develop together.
Yeah, you can go through it, and then you have at the end you have those sharing. You know, we can there's some information. There's like a discussion list, so where you can help you facilitate. So once you're mastering the topic, then you can say, okay, team, let's have a discussion around this. And you have everything in the H&M to help you to support a workshop. You have a discussion list, you have a PowerPoint, you have an email invitation for the topic. So then it would be a nice way to if I think it's great to do that. Yeah.
You mean still in the context of the Harvard and not outside?
On the Harvard. And if there's any topics that that's out of Harvard that you would like to get some input on, you could come and reach out to us, and we can see if we can find some materials or some way of supporting that. Okay, sounds good. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. So food is over there.
Thank you, Daksha. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Talk to you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
I don't know. They're I think trying to organize the last minute. Yeah. And then the ladies have